think I've developed a problem. First it was a Spider-Man 35mm scan. Then it was the Terminator 2 teaser trailer, an actual film scan, which made me realise I could lose entire evenings staring at grain. And now I found a 35mm matte scan of The Shining. I said it properly, which is dangerous, because if Spider-Man in 35 feels like a comic book dream getting its texture back, and Terminator 2 in 35 feels like the industrial sci-fi scripture being pulled out of a furnace, then The Shining feels like the film is breathing on you. So yes, I found another scan, and unfortunately, I'm going back in. The thing about The Shining is that it already feels wrong before anything supernatural happens. That's the genius of it. You don't need the ghosts yet. You don't need the elevator blood. You don't need Jack Nicholson looking like he's trying to chew through his own eyebrows. The hotel itself already feels hostile. The corridors are too clean, the rooms are too symmetrical. The carpets look like they were designed by an evil mathematician. The camera glides around like it knows where the bodies are buried.
Dad?
And that's why a 35 scan of this film is so interesting.
Sidewinder and the snowcat today. I'll bring back a doctor.
Wendy?
I'm gonna go now.
Wendy?
Yes.
You've got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere. Go check out the snowcat in the radio and you'll see what I mean.
Because The Shining is all about texture and control fighting each other. The images are precise, the composition are controlled, the movement is smooth, everything is arranged like a diagram. But the story underneath is rot. A 35mm grain does something strange to that. It puts life back into the surfaces.
Maybe it was about him. I think we should discuss Danny. I think we should discuss what should be done with him.
Suddenly the walls don't just look clean, they look like they're hiding something.
What should be done with him?
I don't know.
I don't think that's true. I think you have some very definite ideas about what should be done with Danny, and I'd like to know what they are.
Well, I think maybe he should be taken to a doctor.
You think maybe he should be taken to a doctor?
Yes.
The grain sits over everything like dust in the air. The colours feel less sterile. The lights bloom differently. The reds and yellows feel warmer, nastier, more diseased. The shadows have movement, more like people trapped inside an old nightmare. The Shining is not a film that benefits from feeling clean in the modern sense. Too clean and it becomes a museum piece, too polished and the Overlook starts looking like an expensive hotel where the biggest horror is the breakfast price. But with grain, with texture, and that slight film softness, the place feels older, stranger, more unstable, like the image itself is not completely safe.
Just a glass
disappear.
That's the thing I keep finding with these scans. Film grain isn't just noise. Sometimes it's atmosphere. And in The Shining, atmosphere is the whole murder weapon.
Hi, Lloyd.
And this is a matte scan. The framing itself becomes part of the fascination. Same with the Spider-Man video.
I'm going. I'll be here when you get back. Not coming back, Chief.
But what I love about seeing alternate scan presentations like this is that it reminds you how much the frame changes the feeling of a movie.
It's very, homey.
A little more space above the head, a little more floor, a different balance in the room. More ceiling, more carpet, more emptiness. In a normal film, that might be interesting. In The Shining, it feels dangerous. Because this is a movie where space is never neutral. Every hallway matters, every doorway matters, every empty patch of room feels like it might be waiting for someone to walk into it. So when the scan gives you a slightly different sense of the frame, it doesn't feel like extra image. It feels like extra hotel. And nobody needs extra hotel in The Shining. The hotel has enough power already. It doesn't need DLC. The more I watched it, the more I realized The Shining might be one of the perfect films for this kind of scan obsession, because the movie is basically a war between sterile composition and madness. Kubrick's camera is controlled, the blocking is controlled, the symmetry is controlled. And suddenly all that control starts to feel infected. The snow outside feels less like weather and more like the world being erased. And Jack Nicholson's face, in 35, becomes a national emergency. Modern clean transfers can sometimes make classic horror feel too present, too visible, too safe. You see the production, you see the set, you see the object, but a good scan can push it back into the dream zone, not hiding the film, haunting it. That's why this works, because The Shining is not supposed to feel like something you're inspecting. It's supposed to feel like something you're trapped inside. And this is why I keep getting pulled back into these 35 scans, because every film reacts differently. Spider-Man gave you that early 2000s superhero world, and its colour and texture back. Terminator made the machine feel physical.
Okay, that's good, up high. 5 low. Too slow.
The metal, the smoke, all of it felt heavier. But The Shining is different. This one isn't about spectacle, it's about unease. The scan doesn't make you go, wow. It makes you go, why does this film feel like it knows I'm here? And that's a much creepier magic trick. That's when film texture stops being nostalgia and starts becoming part of the storytelling. The format isn't just showing the movie, it's changing your relationship with the room. The 35 scan gives it back, not because it's technically perfect, but because it feels alive in the right way. A little worn, a little like the image itself has been sitting in the Overlook for too long.
Oh, Jack! Thank God you're here. Jack! There's someone else in the hotel with us. There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms. She tried to strangle Danny.
So did this 35 matte scan of Shining blow my mind? Yes, but not in the same way as the others. Spider-Man made me nostalgic. Terminator made me appreciate the machine. The Shining made me uncomfortable. The grain doesn't just sit on top of the movie, it feels like part of the hotel. The clean version shows you The Shining. The 35 scan makes it feel like The Shining is watching you back.